Hey, it's Inio here. So I had my Steam Deck for 1 month, and these are my thoughts so far. I spruced it up a little bit with a case. I put a screen protector on, some different colors that don't match, thumbstick grips, and I have like pretty much a permanent attachment of a mini USB hub, which I'll go over in a bit as well. So, Steam Deck. I think overall, for how much I bought this for, this is a Steam Deck LCD 256 gigabyte. I got it on sale for a little over $300. For the price, I absolutely love this device. However, caveat, it's buggy as hell. Why is it so buggy? Anyways, I definitely have loved using it over the last month, but it's definitely had some challenges. I ran into a lot of bugs and I ended up posting a bunch of shorts about it. Let me know if you guys want to see a comprehensive video of troubleshooting the Steam Deck because I was able to fix pretty much all of it, even though they crop up here and there. I don't know, maybe it's like because I used to work in tech support, I like documenting that stuff, so I have no problem sharing my thoughts on how I fix those things. But another thing I want to mention is even though I myself ran into a lot of bugs, I think many people, including people like my husband with his Steam Deck, will never run into probably 99% of the problems I ran into, mostly because they never go into desktop mode, which is holding down the power button and going to desktop mode here. I'm a little bit of a tinker, so I wanted to run the Steam Deck, see what it could do, and also stream games from it. However, I really didn't do much tinkering. I didn't even install any emulators or anything. I just ran into issues galore. I ran into issues starting off with like just powering on the device. For the first time, it kept getting stuck in the installing the update and erroring out. So I had to factory reset my Steam Deck twice in the beginning. I'm thinking maybe that's because this is a device that's a couple years old now. And so with computer software, it can get outdated, and there were probably a bunch of updates it had to look for and change during this time. So for my husband, he has the newer OLED one, and he never had any issues with starting up, turning it on, and just getting to his games. But I and many others on the forums ran into the same install update issue. Other things, all the other issues were really about switching back and forth to desktop mode, whether you connect monitors, so I was connecting monitors, changing settings there, connecting my headsets and microphones and changing settings there. And once you change settings in desktop mode, it gets really wonky, at least for me and hundreds of others who have posted in the forums. So I don't know if the Steam Deck team and the Valve team will be able to fix that going forward. Again, this is an older device, and I know they're probably concentrating on Steam Deck 2 already. But yeah, it was just a host of different issues. Again, I really didn't tinker much. I just was connecting different peripherals, which I thought was normal, and many others do as well. And I just installed a few programs like OBS and Firefox browser. That's pretty much all I installed. But yeah, I have those troubleshooting videos and shorts, and I might do a comprehensive video on that. Now, I sounded like I complained a bunch there, but I have to say, for the price I paid for this little device and compared to all the other handheld computer competitors, this is such a steal, and I really cannot complain too much about the errors and the different bugginess I came across. I'm also the type of person that, again, I used to work in tech support for many years. I have pretty high tolerance on what what's buggy and like what I could tinker around with to fix. But with someone who's kind of novice to computers and such, even though I still consider myself to be a novice. But for someone who just is not technical at all, I could see if they run into those issues, I could see it being very frustrating for them. So I haven't heard anybody else on YouTube talk about issues like this with the Steam Deck. It's all glowing reviews. Can't do no wrong, really. So I just wanted to share my informed experience with it. I'm not trying to convince you either way to buy or not buy this, but I could see the myriad of issues that I ran into being a huge deterrent if people were to ever go into desktop mode. If you don't go into desktop mode, I mean, it's a pretty perfect device. It's really good. And again, for 300 bucks compared to the competition that I see going upwards of over $1,000, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it's really hard to complain, but $300 is still $300. So just, make an informed decision either way. Talking about the accessories, I'll link them in the description what I got. At first I thought I wanted like a white kind of shell and everything, and it looks so good when I see others have theirs on YouTube and stuff. But for myself, and I also asked my husband's opinion on, I have a white case, and I'll show you a little bit of. I have a cover that I do use, but it's really chunky. This device is huge. So let me get my Nintendo Switch really quick. So yeah, this device is pretty big. Like compared to the Nintendo Switch here, I have my tissue box holding up my camera there. Don't mind that. It is big. So, it's having it white, it just felt like it was even bigger. It highlighted the size for sure. So my favorite color is green. I thought I just go with this, and I think it works out for me. It protects it, and also it feels really nice. And it doesn't add too much bulk because it's already really comfortable for me with the bumpers and everything. And so it doesn't add too much bulk. And so yeah, I have this case and for a desk cover, and if I want to travel lightly without the Valve case, that's also really nice. The Valve gives you a case with it for $300 price. It comes with a really hefty case, but this kind of is a desk cover that I could put on top. This was from another case pairing that was all white, but I know it doesn't match, but it's there in case I need it. And I'm not looking to win any beauty competitions with my Steam Deck here. I have anti-glare screen protectors. So I know a lot of people complain about fingerprints and just the glare on the LCD screen, and that's actually, for some reason, that makes people choose the OLED versus LCD. And I just say, just get a screen protector. You can make it like glare resistant, and so it's pretty matte, it's pretty nice. And turning it around, this is where it gets a little crazy. So I had this USB drive for years. It's called the Hyperdrive. I forgot where I bought it, somewhere on Amazon. I don't know if they sell it anymore, but this just has been my permanent setup at home. I haven't really traveled with this. So with the kickstand from the case, it nudges in perfectly in there so it doesn't move, and I'm able to, this is a USB for my headset, I'm able to put in my headset microphone. This is a mouse. And then it also slides over it when I want to connect it to HDMI. And I have an extra one there that's blocked, but I never use it. And then the power adapter here. There's extra slots that I don't really use. If I really want to, it has like the Ethernet port. And so I've been using this just permanently in the back like this. I also bought another one that's this size that I'll link in the description. That's a little bit smaller, but it fits in between like that keyhole of the kickstand too. So, and as you can see, when I kind of lean it, it fits and it's comfortable, and I'm able to play like this on my lap, and sometimes even connected to the TV with HDMI. And I just have, since I really love using these controllers, I find that it fits my hands really well. I will have this sometimes just on my lap with it plugged in with the power and also the TV, and I'll just like game for hours, which is amazing. So that's kind of my accessory update. In my first video of my unboxing, I had other accessories. I had a dock that I only spent $40 on, and it still works, but I don't really find myself using it as much because this is basically my built-in dock. So I don't really use the dock, and I'm glad I didn't spend too much on it, but it's there in case I want to use it as well. And so yeah, now going into the actual games and the playing and then the software, I have already completed so many games on here in the month that I've had this. When people say this is a backlog killer, they were not lying. So I had, for instance, so many games. So I had BioShock in my backlog for years, and I completed that on here. It's just so easy to pick up and play, and I don't have a gaming PC, and the portability is amazing. And I am a huge proponent of cloud gaming. I'm partnered with Boostroid, but Boostroid doesn't have all the games. So being able to play it in a portable way like this is a game changer. So I completed BioShock, and then I completed some To the Moon series stuff. So I completed Finding Paradise. I was able to boot up No Man's Sky on here, and it ran pretty well. I mean, of course, the graphics aren't gonna be as best as 4K. This, I'm comfortable playing up to 720p on here, or with like a 720p with like a 16:9 aspect ratio, because I stream on YouTube and I like that aspect ratio for YouTube. I played some Cyberpunk on here. Now, Cyberpunk, I've been so spoiled by cloud gaming. I first played Cyberpunk on Google Stadia, I know RIP, and I was so spoiled by the 4K graphics that it's gonna be hard for me to play Cyberpunk on Steam Deck. But I did play a little bit. It runs smooth, but it's the graphics, of course, you're gonna have to compromise. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't care about that. My husband EPS was able to play Baldur's Gate on his all the way through. And then we played Baldur's Gate on cloud gaming, where I was able to show the 4K graphics on Boosteroid. And he was like, wow, I was playing and my character's beard was all pixelated and meshy. And now his beard's not pixelated and meshy and stuff. So yeah, but he was able to complete that game, and I haven't completed Baldur's Gate, so I downloaded it on here, and I want to see if I could play it on here as well. I downloaded so many games. I also, let's see, I completed a few short games, A Bird Story, some To the Moon episodes, mini-sodes, and I am starting The Witcher 1 on here too. And I have a couple other games that I just loaded on my Steam Deck that I plan to play through here. And I feel like it's just so much easier to knock things out. It's just like you get it while sitting on the couch, you boot it up, it's really fast. You don't have to wait for Windows updates or different loadings or anything, and just really great. Now, I've been able to load a lot of games on here because I guess the other accessory that I forgot to mention is that I was able to get an expansion SD card here. And I was able to find a 1.5 terabyte one on Amazon, which I'll link as well. That's like the biggest now. Well, I guess there's some 2 terabyte ones, but they're like $300. The 1.5 terabyte one was a little over $100, which I think is such a steal. So I went ahead and slotted that in. I am still contemplating whether I want to open up my Steam Deck completely and replace the internals and add more storage that way. From how many bugs I've already been experiencing with my device, I am leaning toward never opening this ever because I just see way too often people have things just not working for whatever reason. Even though Steam and Valve supports it, a lot of people just have things just like not working after they put it back together. And so I'm kind of leaning towards never opening my device and just like playing around with the internals and the software that way as well. So let's get into desktop mode, shall we? And this is where this device absolutely blows my mind. And we go there holding down the power button and navigating through. Desktop mode. This is truly a handheld computer, and desktop mode is where it truly shows the capabilities of the Steam Deck. It's already worth the price just for the big game mode, but this is where I feel like my whole lifestyle of how I approach games and my content creation strategy of how I record gameplay has changed on top of its head completely. So Steam Deck supports OBS, which is a popular free streaming software for all you game streamers out there. And it works the same, if not even better, than the one on my Windows laptop, which I usually use. Now, my laptop that I've been working off of, it's not a gaming laptop. It's coming up like 5-6 years old, and it's starting to really show its age, and also the fan noise is crazy. Now, for the Steam Deck, at times, you can hear the fan noise on here. It gets really hot, especially here. In the back, it doesn't get as hot, but you have the vents there in the back as well. It can have a fan, but is not compared to a computer fan or even a laptop fan at all. So this is, oh, where did I go? So this is like the Steam Deck interface, and I was able to connect like my microphones as well. And I have other videos that shows me setting up how to stream games on here, and it just is unbelievable to me. I'm able to connect my capture card directly. Usually I use a separate program, VLC, which actually VLC is in here, able to be ran through here as well. But with the Steam Deck, I think it's just like with the Linux interface or something, it's able to, the OBS version, Linux version is able to recognize my cheap capture card better. So it's able to just be in here. And yeah, I'm able to set up everything I really need in here. If I even wanted to set up a webcam, I can. I was able to, well, the way I did it was kind of a workaround where I connected my my laptop webcam to this with a capture card. I don't think I'll ever have that use case again, but it's just great. And I have my different scenes set up and everything. So I have been able to stream all those games that I mentioned on here, and I've been able to stream, so far my longest stream has been over 3 hours, and it's always been green status, no dropped frames, and that's without Ethernet, and that's pretty phenomenal for this little tiny device. And of course we have good internet as well. But yeah, it's amazing. You could still access Steam on here as normal as well. You could make purchases through Steam on this interface. You could start downloads from here and just switch back and forth through desktop view and the big game view. So Firefox browser seems to be the kind of default or go-to browser here. It's an okay browser. It does what I need it to do. I just wanted to test if Boostroid.com worked on here. Boostroid.com didn't really work on here. I'm sure there's an app where you could use it. I know there's people that use GeForce Cloud Gaming on here. For me, I don't know if I really have a use case to go on cloud gaming on this device. If I'm on this device, with the amount of storage I have, I'm gonna play games that are installed natively on this device. The only reason I might use cloud gaming is if I maybe ran out of space on my device. And really, I shouldn't be running into that problem. I should be able to uninstall games when needed. I could even hook up like external hard drives as needed. But one thing that I was able to do, have been able to do recently, is stream my Oculus. Well, I guess it's not called Oculus anymore. Stream my Meta Quest VR headset through this. And so it's been pretty seamless. And yeah, I've been really happy with it when I do VR games through my Meta Quest 3S. And I've been able to show it on the browser and then just show it through OBS to the interwebs and stuff to share with you guys to follow along. So it's been a great streaming device. I could see this eventually replacing my older laptop completely. The only thing that I miss from my older laptop is Microsoft Paint. I use that tool all the freaking time, making my own thumbnails or just doing random silly art and stuff. So if anybody knows an equivalent to Microsoft Paint that they install on the Steam Deck, let me know, because I did a little search and nothing really caught my fancy with that as well. So that's like the capabilities. There's so much more you could do. I do want to play around with emulation some and see where that goes as well. But I've been really happy with this game. A lot of the games work pretty well. I know some of them, like Inzoi, for instance, doesn't really work on here. It's a pretty graphically intense game, but I'm excited that I'm able to play games here that might not be available on Boostroid or other cloud gaming, and when I don't want to go on my PC or anything. So it's been a great little device. Just this little thing. I've been carrying it around everywhere, at least everywhere at my home, and streaming from it has been amazing. Played so many games and will continue to. Yes, there are a lot of bugs that at least I ran into, and seems like many people on the forums run into. However, again, for the price, hard to complain, and I was able to work around all the bugs as well. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing a troubleshooting video on how to solve like little buggy weird things that you might come across your Steam Deck, because I have a ton of them, let me know, and I will continue to post fun videos on the Steam Deck as well. And I also stream games almost every day on my live tab, so definitely check that out if you'd like. I'm doing The Witcher 1 right now for the first time, and it's really fun, and a couple of VR games here and there. Okay, well, I think I went through all the points, so I'm sure I missed something, and I'll probably make more videos about that. And this was my 1 month review of the Steam Deck LCD, 256 gigabytes. I love it. All right, thanks guys. Bye.